Yeah, you guys have to give me the permission to record. You'll have to allow.
Sure. Yeah.
Done? Okay. So Shobna, would you want to start?
Okay. I'm Shobna and I'm originally from Darjeeling. I did my schooling from Sikkim and then my graduation from Siliguri itself. Then I went to pursue my master's from Bangalore and then my MPhil from Sikkim University. I did work in a while in Guwahati and then even a small course, not a small course, but a long-term course in animation as well. So like from a friend of mine, I got to know about a training in human resources, but like this is completely new for me. Like my idea about human resources, like very rudimentary, very little. So like, but I was interested and I wanted to learn new things and maybe pursue a career as well in human resource if I get an opportunity and if I do well. So that's why I was like keen to learn and I was hoping to have a very good learning experience.
Okay. So you got to know about the course from Bhavna?
Yes. She's one of my friends. So
Okay, that's nice. Yeah, Yangshin?
Hi everyone, I'm Yangshin. I'm from Darjeeling. I did my schooling from Loreto Convent, Darjeeling, and then I went to Calcutta for my bachelor's in St. Xavier's College. And then I shifted to Mumbai for my master's degree, where I studied regulatory governance. And here I was preparing for civil services, but then it's been too long, and it's a very long process, and I felt like I'm not wasting my time, but then it was like studying same thing every day, like all over again, like every year. So I wanted something new. So I felt like HR interested me. I don't know much about HR, but then yeah, that interested me, and yes.
Okay, fine.
So,
yeah. So you want to take a step forward now?
Yes.
Right. You want to make a move. Okay.
Yes, like I'm very, like I'm kind of done with preparing for civil services.
Okay, fine. So Suman?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Suman. Okay, so I did my bachelor's, my law degree from North Bengal University, and after that, my master's from Sikkim University. I think I know Shobna. I don't know. I'm not sure, but maybe. And after completing my master's, I joined as a guest faculty in Inspiria Knowledge Campus. And after that, right after joining there, I got the opportunity to work as an assistant professor in Calcutta, in Barasat actually, that's a law college. And yeah, I'm working there for now. So I always had this interest of the communication thing. I always liked it. So I thought that I should give it a try. And then Bhavna told me about this course, and and I'm now here with you all.
Okay, good.
We should thank Bhavna actually.
Yeah, no, she was another participant in this program. Okay, and she's actually very interested. She's very much interested in pursuing HR, and she's doing well. She's partly working with me also now. Okay, in the field of HR, and yeah, it's something good. It's something new. I mean, HR is all about you having a particular kind of a skill, okay, which I will tell you in detail as we progress through the course. Okay, so before we start, you guys just know me as Pratima or just as Surge HR Solutions, but I will be taking your session, so I'm sure you have all rights to know about me as well, right? So, okay, I'm Pratima Singh, and I have 12 years of experience in the field of human resource management. Most of my life lived in Bangalore, okay, and basically from Darjeeling. I have worked with companies in the field of HR. I've worked with companies like HP, with Moving Pictures, okay, with Jockey. So these are some of the big brands that I've been associated with. And my major interest being strategic HR, which is HR business partnering. Okay, so there are two major portions of HR that you will come across while we do this course. One is the administrative, which is the transactional part of HR, and the other is strategic. Okay, so I have been a part of the strategic HR in organizations where I have shouldered business to help them enhance, employee productivity. Okay, and now I am here back in Darjeeling, Siliguri, you can say. Started my own business in HR, and I'm like very much into HR. Okay, and I want to pursue in this field, and I don't think so I can do anything else than HR. Okay, so I will be taking you through the entire history as to from where HR started, where the HR concept started, the evolution of HR, and we will be talking about the entire employee life cycle in an organization. Okay, so as soon as an employee joins till the time he exits from an organization, that entire duration of his time in the organization is called employee life cycle. Okay, so we are stepping into the field of HR. So there are certain terminologies that you will have to get used to, you'll have to get acquainted to, because once you get into the organization, into this particular department, there won't be any other terminologies used, neither will you find different terminologies when you refer to certain things. Okay, so even if you're referring to books or to portions in Google or internet or however, so there are certain terminologies which is just restricted to the field of HR. So you'll have to start getting used to all those terminologies. Okay. So before we start, again, I would like to know from you guys, what do you know about HR? What have you understood in HR till now?
About recruitments.
Okay.
I think the personnel working in an
Managing-
organization.
Person, sorry.
And I mean all the personal, I mean the workforce within the organization, they constitute the human resource, HR. So that's
Right,
what-
human resources. So the correct terminology would be
Resources.
resources. Okay.
resources.
Yeah, human resources. Okay. Yes. Yes. So Yangchen is telling me she knows HR as HR having a function as in recruitment, right? So HR's major portion is hiring the right kind of manpower for the organization, right? Okay. And Shobna is telling me it's all about the human resources in an organization, right? Everything to do with human resources.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Suman, any kind of
what I think is that the main function of HR is to look after organizing the company, like in matter of everything. Like as Yangchen said about the recruitment and about the resources, everything about the company.
okay.
That's what I think.
Okay. Fine. So you mean to say more of the disciplining part, discipline of the
Exactly.
organization? Are you referring to that? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
the management part. Yeah.
The management. Okay. Fine. So it all depends on how you want to place yourself in the company. Okay. So there is this department which is called Human Resource Department, which is one of the departments, of the company. So there are a lot other departments, like you have the finance and accounts. Okay, you will have the marketing department, you will have advertising, and so many other functions which are not directly related to bringing in business to the company. Okay. So first thing you need to understand, basic two departments that are segregated in a company is operations, okay, and the other is the support team, okay. So operations would mean the departments or the functions which are directly linked to bringing in business to the company, bringing in income to the company, okay. So operations, simple example would be a retail store. You go to Shoppers Stop, right? So in Shopper Stop, you see the guys who are directly related to sales. They are generating sales for the company. So those are the ops guys. They are referred to as operations guys because they are directly related to bringing in business to the company. Okay. Whereas, sorry, departments like HR, marketing, finance and accounts, we are referred to as a support team. Okay. Why support? Because we support the operations team in bringing in business to the company. We are not directly linked to selling. We are not directly linked to earning income to the company. However, we support them. We facilitate them in the best ways so that they are in the best position to bring in good income to the company. So we are enhancing their performance, especially HR. Okay, so we are referred to as the support function. Right? Okay, so let's move on. I will just share the screen with you. I would like to talk to you about the evolution of HR, how human resource function, this concept, how did it come? Okay, just give me a minute. Yeah, can you see the screen? You're not able to see the screen yet?
Yes,
Yes, we can.
We can see.
You can see, okay. Okay, yeah. So in this PPT, I will be explaining to you. Guys, you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, now I can see you. Okay, so in this PPT, we will be discussing what is actually the meaning of human resources and how did it actually start, the concept of human resource department. Okay. Okay. So can you imagine any workplace functional without humans or without what you can say, without any manpower? Can you imagine any workplace? Can it function without humans?
Not really. No.
Not really. Not really.
Okay. So just give me a minute. This is why I don't like Zoom, you know. Hold on. Now I can't see you guys. Okay, anyways. So see, human resources, it is the department of a business or organization that deals with hiring, administration, and training of staff. So this is the main concept that we carry about the human resource department. Okay. So it is mainly a department which is concerned with hiring of manpower, handling all the administration work, and also training the staff. Okay. However, in my concept, as far as I understand human resources, I feel that it is something which is very essential, okay, which is very, very necessary in order that the business functions. Okay, so something which is essential to produce a desired result or product. Okay, like how every other material is important in manufacturing certain product. Similarly, without human resources, there will be no production of any kind of products, or any substance that you can say, right? So without human resource intervention, there is no material that can be produced. Hence, it is one of the most essential part of the production process, or the most essential part of any business, right? Even if you have a lot of machinery, you need somebody to operate, right? So without any human resources, there cannot be any kind of production or business functioning. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I will
Yes.
tell you how the evolution of human resource management happened. Okay. So earlier, before industrial revolution, we were just into the agricultural kind of a mode, right? So after industrial revolution is when the need of the personnel management, or the need of a department who can mitigate the situation between the laborers, workers. Earlier, we in when industry started, okay, that is when the concept of workers, that is when the concept of wages per day, all these things started, right? Before that, when agriculture was there, nothing of that sort anybody would have heard of. But it's only after the industrial revolution is when the need of a department who can mitigate situations between the workers and the management, this need has risen. Okay, so after the after industrial revolution, concepts like welfare officer, labor manager, and then personnel management, and then human resource management, and eventually right now we are in the strategic human resource department. So certain positions, they are described as human resource business partners. I don't know whether you've heard of this, but this is the most common terminology used for human resource at the moment. Okay. So I will just take you through certain slides which talks about how this entire concept of human resource management started. Okay, so before industrial revolution, as I told you, the society was primarily an agricultural economy with limited production. So all that we had was agricultural production, and number of specialized crafts was limited, as was usually carried out within a village or community, with apprentice assisting the master craftsman. Communication channel were limited. So it was just, little money that people used to get out of the work or whatever help they used to do in the community other than agriculture. But there was no occupation as such during the agricultural period. So it's only after industrial revolution when the concepts of workers' wages and salaries came up. Okay, concepts of workers' record maintenance and workers' housing facilities and healthcare, all these concepts came up. And that is when it was realized, okay, modernization and increased means of communication gave way to industrial setup. So it is then after that when workers' wages and welfare, other related issues, gave birth to a department, okay, called the personnel management department, whose major work was then to manage the workers' wages and salaries, workers' record maintenance, and workers' housing facilities and healthcare. Okay, so it is post-industrial revolution when this personnel management or the welfare officer concept came up. Okay, so an important event in industrial revolution was growth of labor union. Okay, so everybody has heard of labor union.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, someone would have heard of labor union even more.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
You have the laws, labor laws. Yes.
Yeah, labor laws and all that, right? So labor law is a little different than labor union. Okay, labor laws would be more of compliance from the company's side in order to ensure that all the minimum statutory compliance and all is met. Okay, now labor union is a concept where I'll just read it out to you. The workers. Okay, this is supposed to be workers, not works. Working in industries or factories were subjected to long working hours and very less wages. So it was at that time when industries used to make the workers slog a lot, giving them very little wages and making them work for long hours. Okay, so which created growing unrest among the workers across the world, and they started protesting, okay, because of which establishment of labor union happened. Okay, it is because of the long working hours and very less wages. The workers all over the world, they started protesting, and this led to the birth of labor unions. Now, labor union is not similar to HR at all. Okay, labor union is a community or a union among the laborers or the workers, okay, that they have formed in order to voice out their demands to the management. Okay, so they are the people among themselves, they have formed a union to voice out their demands to the management. Okay, so to deal with the labor issues at one end and the management at the other, personnel management department had to be capable of politics and diplomacy. Thus, the industrial relation department emerged. So first, you would have seen in that chart that I showed you during the first few slides, it was the welfare officers, and then it was the personnel management, and then the industrial relation department. So it is a part of the HR department only, personnel management only, but there is another part to it, which is called industrial relation department. Okay, now only the IR. Okay, Suman, I was telling you HR will help you a lot since you've done legal, is because legal has a lot to do in industrial relations. Okay, so talking about law and labor law and their rights and all that. So here is where you can play a major role. So industrial relation department is to talk about the rights of the workers as per the Indian government laws, and you will also be able to talk about the company's rights. Okay, what the company can do, and where is the limit, where do we draw a line between the labor union demands and the company. Okay, so the industrial relation department is also a part of HR in Mumbai, especially Youngjin, Mumbai, Maharashtra, the whole the whole state of Maharashtra as well as West Bengal are the two major states in India which are faced with this labor union problems. Okay, and if anybody is hiring HR for Maharashtra, they ensure that they know the IR, industrial relations. Okay, and dealing with labor union is not very easy. So having a knowledge about industrial relation is very, very important, and how to tackle them. So in this case, either women who are really strong in their knowledge in IR with all the law and legal things, they can pursue this, or generally men, okay, they go for this field of HR. I'm not discouraging you guys, but then I'm just saying, so yeah, I'm just introducing you guys to the kind of concept. So you can understand the labor unions, right? There are two kinds of employees in any company, especially in industries, blue collared and white collared. Have you heard? Blue collared and white collared. So blue collared employees are the, so blue collared employees are those who are mainly the industrial workers. Okay, they come in the labor category or the workers category, and white collared are the management. Okay, so dealing with the blue collared employees is a bit challenging. However, it is not impossible. I have done it myself in Siliguri, so it's not an impossible thing. Okay, so the concept of personnel management in IR department, have we understood? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so are you guys familiar with this word personnel? Personnel management. Personnel is everything to do with the employees. Okay, so that is why personnel, not personal. I'm sure all of us know the difference. Personal and personnel is to do with the employees. Okay. Okay, so post-industrial revolution, the term human resource management saw a major evolution after 1850. So it was after 1850 when the human resource management concept came up even more strongly. So various studies were released and many experiments were conducted during this period which gave HRM altogether a new meaning and importance. A brief overview of major theories released during this period is presented below. So there are certain theories, okay, that have come up after Industrial Revolution, strengthening the HRM concept. Okay, so certain theories like Frederick W. Taylor gave principles of scientific management, which led to the evolution of scientific human resource management approach, which was involved in workers' training. So earlier, what was the major focus of personnel management? The major focus of personal management earlier was, the workers' salary and their record maintenance and their housing facility and all, right? So then the evolution of IR came in, so industrial relations. After that, the concept Frederick Taylor gave in a principle of human resource management where we should also involve in training the workers. So in order to, you'll identify certain workers who are capable of performing even better. So what we do, we start training them in order to give them more responsibilities. Okay, so workers training concept came in, and then maintaining wage uniformity. What happens even now in Siliguri, in certain companies, you'll see certain people, graduates, suppose one graduate is paid a salary of maybe 10 to 15,000. Somebody else may be paid a different salary of 12,000 or 20,000, something like that. So there's no uniformity in the salary, right? So then during this time, it was understood that maintaining wage uniformity is very, very important to avoid any kind of unrest among the employees. So can you imagine a place where the same qualification and same experience are paid different salaries? You will always, obviously we also as employees keep discussing, which is not right, but still people can't help discussing about their salaries with each other, right? So if they discuss about the salaries with each other, what happens? So they start comparing their salaries.
Problem will arise. Yeah.
Will be a gift.
So they start comparing their salaries, and then they'll come to the management and they say, "Iska itna kyun hai aur mera itna kam kyun hai?" Right? So they'll come and ask questions. On what basis have you given him more salary and why less salary to me? So all those things will come in. So it was decided then that maintaining wage uniformity is very, very important. And then focusing on attaining better productivity. So then the role of strategic HR, like how to do or what should we implement in order to attain better productivity. Okay, how can we motivate the employees to get better productivity from them? So all these concepts came in. Okay, and there are other research theories also that most of the people who have done in terms of human resource management evolution. And according to certain other research like Douglas McGregor, so these principles on human resource management became increasingly line management function linked to core business operations. Some of the major activities of HR department was outlined, which is recruitment and selection of skilled workforce. So earlier what was happening, we were just talking about the Industrial Revolution, and we were just talking about the workers and the salary and wages, right? But now after certain years, maybe in the year 1960 and after 1954, the concept or the theories of recruiting and selecting of skilled workforce came in. So skilled workforce, where they are skilled in certain type of work, have attained certain kind of education. So that kind of a concept has come up. And then motivation and employee benefits. So motivating the employees. So we've heard about employee engagement activities. Have you heard of employee engagement activities?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
employee engagement is a department which is separately formed these days in companies in order to ensure that the employees are motivated at all times, okay, for better performance, and employee benefits. So employee remuneration is one thing which talks about salaries, And employee benefits is one thing which talks anything other than salary. So that could be a medical insurance, that could be employee provident fund, okay, that could be any other allowances and benefits for the employee, which is not the salary. Okay, so concepts of motivating the employees for better productivity and employee benefits has then come up. So that is after 1960s. And training and development of workforce, performance related salaries and appraisals. So performance appraisal is one major function of all companies every year. So nowadays, companies give salary appraisals to employees every year, depending on their performance, right? So this concept of performance appraisal also has come up after 1960s. Okay, so now eventually, after 1960s, after all that thing, now finally we have reached the stage of strategic human resource management. Okay, so what is strategic human resource management? Like I told you in the beginning of the session, I have been involved in majorly strategic human resource management part of HR. Okay, so that would be mainly to shoulder business, shoulder the managing directors of companies, shoulder the general managers of companies in helping them understand how we can increase business with the help of human resources. So how we can train them, how we can motivate them, okay, how we can allocate resource, what kind of skills is required in order to attain higher benefits in the business. Okay, so with increase in technology and knowledge-based industries and as a result of global competition, human resource management is assuming more critical role today. Okay, so rather than just being an administrative role of just doing the hiring, recruitment, processing the salary, now we are more into a critical role where companies cannot do without human resource management. Okay, and it is a major accomplishment in aligning individual goals and objectives with corporate goals and objectives. So individual goals and objectives means aligning every employee's goals. So every employee joins a company with certain goals in mind, right? Either I'm going to get my salary at from this level to this level, or I'm going to reach from an executive level to a general manager level, or I'm going to learn more about this work. So they have individual goals in mind. So we as HR will have to identify these goals among people, among different departments, and align them with the corporate goals, with the business goals. So we'll have to utilize human resources that way. Okay. Sounds like a big task, but yeah, once you get into it, then it's not that difficult. Okay. So strategic human resource management focuses on actions that differentiate the organization from its competitors. So we always talk about having an edge over the others, right? So strategic human resource management talks about how we can have an edge over our competitors in terms of giving the best benefits to our employees, building an employer brand, okay, which is the most preferred brand in the market. So even if you talk about HPC, there are a lot of companies which manufacture computers, right? We have Dell, we have IBM, and we have so many Lenovo, we have so many other companies. But why does anybody want to work with HP, and why not with IBM? So there are certain things which differentiate companies, okay, and people prefer the best talent is obviously absorbed by most of the good companies, but it's up to the employee who they want to join. So how do we become the most preferred employer will be the task of an HR along with the business. Okay, so this is where HR is headed to now. Okay, rather than just sitting and processing payroll, just doing the training, just doing the recruitment. Okay, so which area of HR interests you guys? Where do you think, which part of HR interests you more? After all that I've spoken about. Too much for one day.
I think the
Strategic
recruiting-
HRM.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you continue.
It's okay.
I feel like strategic human resources management is like little striking for me because like I'm interested in how like increasing business, and then it's like because I'm always like I studied political science, and then in Mumbai I studied regulatory governance. So it was all about how to tackle problems and how to like how you said, like how to increase a business, how to do this, how to manage certain problems. So I feel like this strategic management is interesting.
Yeah, so you can build your credibility that way. It's not that, people who just do the transactional work, they have no role at all. Okay, I don't mean that, because that is also an important role of HR. Nobody else is going to do that for us. It is the HR department itself. But what I'm trying to say is, how do we build our credibility? Okay, how do we make ourselves seen? Because if you join companies, you will see how people look at HR. So it all depends on how we make ourselves seen. How do you want HR department to be seen in the company? So it should be like, no, we cannot do without this department, right? So we have to build our credibility that way. Okay. So, is the evolution clear? At least you have a brief idea now how this
Yes.
department started. Yeah, if not clear, we don't have to
Yes,
mug
yeah.
up the dates and the theories and all. Nobody's going to ever ask us. Okay, but when we start our career in HR, it is important for us to know, okay, how did we start? How did this concept really come up? Okay, so it is important for us to understand that. Right? Okay. So, guys,